The morning sun slipped through the half-drawn curtains, spilling soft gold across the room, over the worn-out couch, the coffee mugs, the quiet reminders of an ordinary life. And there she was, standing barefoot on my wooden floor, wrapped in nothing but my old blue shirt, the same one I'd tossed over the chair last night. Her eyes met mine, uncertain, haunted, but painfully honest. In that stillness, I didn't see a stranger. I saw someone who'd been running too long and finally stopped. If you believe that kindness, forgiveness, and second chances can still change lives, please like, comment, and share this story. Your support keeps hope alive. Her name, I learned later, was Nora Kalin. That morning, I found her by the edge of Miller's Creek, sitting alone on the pier. The wind was cold, and she hugged herself tightly, shivering beneath a dull gray sky. I was on my way to my workshop, a small garage where I build wooden furniture, when I stopped and asked, "Are you okay?" She didn't answer right away, just whispered, "Do you have a phone?" Her clothes were drenched, her hair tangled and clinging to her face. There were bruises on her ankle and another near her collarbone. The silence in her eyes spoke louder than any scream ever could. The cab I called refused to come when they learned she couldn't pay. So, I did something I hadn't done in years. I brought a stranger home. My cabin wasn't much. One room, a table scattered with tools, and a couch that had seen better days. She stood in the doorway, cautious, scanning every corner like she was making sure it was safe to breathe. I handed her a towel and pointed to the bathroom. "Take your time," I said softly. She didn't respond. But minutes later, I heard the shower running, and for the first time, the silence in that cabin felt alive. When she came out, steam followed her. She wasn't wearing her torn sweater anymore, just my blue shirt hanging loosely around her, the sleeves almost covering her hands. She looked fragile, and yet somehow peaceful, as if warmth was something she was rediscovering. "I'll wash your clothes," I murmured. She nodded, quietly. We didn't talk much that day. She ate the soup I made, slowly, like she wasn't sure she was allowed to finish it. I pretended to work on a chair in the corner, but I noticed everything. The faint scars on her wrists, the way she jumped when a car passed outside, the soft sniffles she tried to hide. That night, I gave her my bed and took the couch. Sometime past midnight, I woke to the sound of muffled crying. I didn't move. I just listened to someone breaking quietly in the dark. By morning, she was gone. My shirt was folded neatly on the bed. The window was open, and a note lay beside it. "Thank you for not asking who hurt me." Days passed. I went back to sanding wood and pretending life was simple again. But she stayed in my mind, that quiet girl by the creek who left wearing my shirt and took something of my heart with her. Then one afternoon, I saw her again, across the street, in front of the bakery. Her hair was tied back, flour dusted on her cheeks, a tray of muffins in her hands. Mrs. Langford, the owner, was teaching her how to arrange them in the window. When Nora saw me, she smiled, shy but real. "I'm working here now," she said softly. They needed help, and I needed a place to start over. I nodded. "You look better." She smiled again. "I'm trying." Over the next few weeks, I found myself stopping by the bakery more often than I needed to. Sometimes for coffee, sometimes just to see her laugh again. One evening, she told me her story, the kind she had once been too afraid to tell. A husband who broke more than her trust. A life built on fear and obedience until she ran, barefoot and desperate, believing no one would help her. "But you did," she said, voice trembling. "You didn't ask what was wrong. You just let me exist." That night, I realized kindness isn't always grand. Sometimes, it's just giving someone a place to rest without demanding their story. A month later, I visited her small rented room above the bakery. Canvases leaned against the wall, painted in soft, wild colors. "They're not that good," she whispered, embarrassed, but they were beautiful, chaotic, but full of hope. She painted one for me, a simple image of a blue shirt hanging by a sunlit window. "It reminds me of the morning I felt safe," she said. Then, one rainy afternoon, Mrs. Langford had a heart attack. Nora stayed with her, held her hand all the way to the hospital. When I arrived, she was pacing the hallway, tears streaming. I hugged her, and she finally let go. Later, when Mrs. Langford recovered, she handed Nora the bakery keys. "You've got the heart for it," she said. That look on Nora's face, disbelief, gratitude, joy, I'll never forget it. The bakery flourished. People loved her warmth, her smile, her quiet strength. Every coffee she served came with something invisible, understanding. 6 months after that morning by the pier, I visited her before opening hours. She was behind the counter, hair in a messy bun, flour on her cheeks. "You're early," she teased. "I wanted to show you something." I handed her a small wooden box I'd carved myself. Inside was a silver pendant shaped like a shirt, engraved with her name. Her eyes filled with tears. "You remembered." "I never forgot," I said. "You were wearing my shirt. Now, a part of it belongs to you." She put it on right there, sunlight spilling over both of us. Then she whispered, "You saved me, Mason." I smiled. "No, Nora, you saved yourself." I just opened the door. As I left the bakery that day, I realized something. Sometimes people walk into our lives when we least expect them and remind us why we are still here. She was wearing my shirt that first morning. Today, she wears courage, laughter, and a heart rebuilt from ashes. And maybe that's what love really is. Not perfect, not easy, just two people learning how to live again. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to HOA Chronicles, because one small act of kindness can truly change someone's entire life.